Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another video. This video will consist of me going over finding where price will likely gravitate towards, the drawn liquidity, identifying highs and lows, just reading price and formulating a bias just off what I'm analyzing. It's going to be a brief video. I'm going to pick a random point in time and we're just going to go after it. I don't see where price is. I don't see what's happening with price. We're going to pick a random point here. And so there it is. This is where we're going to begin. All right. So what am I seeing in price? First, I'm going to begin with the 4 hour here. Clearly, price has been dumping quite significantly. I mean, every single time we're retesting a bearish imbalance here, we're respecting it and continuing making moves to the downside. This low resistance liquidity here got tapped into. We do have relative equal lows below here as well. So that, just at face value, we do have a potential objective to the downside as long as these bearish imbalances are being respected. So this 4 hour right here, as long as that's respected and the 1 hour is consistent with it, I do think we can gravitate towards 20,035. Now I'm going to wait till we head towards the AM session to make a definite prediction. Right now I'm not showing too much in terms of price. We could definitely come for 20,035. And I mean, from this point, this is what I like to see here. Sweep of buy side right here. So we got a sweep right here. What else? 1 hour bearish imbalance respected right here. For me, clear draw, very easy draw is 209, which is around 60 points away. And then we could go 20,035. So for me, what I would look for is price to gravitate towards here at the very least. That's the safe draw for me, around 70 points. And then potentially 240 points to 20,035. As long as this 1 hour bearish imbalance is being respected. Right now, that's the case. And I like the lows being tapped. There's low 1 tapped, so the safe draw did get tapped into based on what I'm seeing in price, consistent with price delivery. And there is draw 2 tapped into. Consistent. The 4 hour was telling me the clear direction. The 1 hour was agreeing with it going into the session. Manipulation to the upside, sweep of these stops of buy side. 1 hour bearish imbalance respected. Clear draws below, equal lows below. For me, this was a very easy move to predict. So there's one example of that. Finding where price will likely gravitate towards. I'm going to go towards the next AM session. Formulate a bias then again. Right now we formed that huge wick here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this wick right now. Okay, right now the midpoint of that wick is being respected. On the 4 hour, the draws to the downside have been tapped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to observe the 1 hour right now. What are we doing on the 1 hour here? All right. Heading in the AM session right here. Take this low. And I'm forced with a decision to make now. Where will price likely gravitate towards? Will we sweep this low and is that enough for price? It's potentially the case. Or will we show willingness to head even lower? We have this high right here. All right. In all honesty, nothing is clear enough for me. If I'm consistent with where price has been delivering, I would choose this low. But I'm going to go to the 15-minute for additional confirmations here. And for me, I get it right here. My eyes go towards this 15-minute bullish imbalance. If we disrespect this, my eyes go to 19,972. If we respect it, change the state right here, form this breaker, my eyes go to these highs right here. 20,333 and 363. So I'm going to wait to see what we do here. Do we disrespect it or not? Wait for one more here. Not yet disrespected. Haven't tapped the low yet. We disrespected it and tapped it as well. So That draw was tapped into, didn't have enough time to react to it, of course, because the candle closed while tapping into that draw. That's what's going to happen sometimes. It is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. And price is continuing that movement to the downside. But that 50-minute bullish imbalance was disrespected, showing that there is still a willingness to head lower. Next up, we have 2 4-hour bearish imbalances right here. Let me clone this. All right, 2 4-hour bearish imbalances right here. My eyes obviously go look towards here on the higher time frame. I want to look if the 1 hour is consistent with that, how price is delivering, or if we're potentially changing the way price wants to deliver from this point. These are valid things to look for. We have a 1 hour bullish imbalance formed here. Clearly price has been bearish for the last while. So I'm going to look how price delivers to this point. Heading into that AM session, disrespected it. All right. My draw is clear here, this low 609. And we are going to fill this unfilled 1 hour bullish imbalance. So if I have to point my draw, 19609.5, 19598. That's around 65-ish points heading into that AM session. Sweep of this high right here. So we got a sweep of liquidity right here. Good displacement to the downside. Here, I think we will definitely head towards this draw right there. So filling these right here. I think that's definitely attainable. And there we go. That's exactly what we got. What did we get? The draw tapped into and filling that gap right there at 598. So 65 points there predicted pretty easily. Again, it's just what price is telling me that it'll likely do. Using very simple concepts, by the way. I'm not overcomplicating anything. I want to make it as simple as possible for you guys to understand. And now we're starting to chop around here on the 1 hour, if you notice. Nothing too significant is being shown just yet. On the 1 hour time frame, we're digging into this this bearish imbalance, respecting it with the body. Price is showing that it may be willing to change the way it wants to deliver here. So something that must be taken into account. Nothing too telling just yet. So I would not form much of a bias just yet here. We swept this high right here. Decent delivery in price. Where would I look? I'd probably look at this low right here. We haven't yet disrespected it. Should we disrespect it? Yeah, that low is where my eyes point towards. Yeah, so I think this low is definitely attainable, but big if we have this bullish imbalance that has been respected. So where do my eyes go here from this point? All right, we have opposing gaps right here. Whichever one gives, then I look the other way. If this gives right now, which it does, all right, I'm going to look towards these equal highs here. That's just where I think price will likely gravitate towards. Obviously, this isn't a trade I would take, but just off what I'm seeing, I think price will likely gravitate towards that high. Chopping around, again, I would tell myself I'm wrong if we come for this low instead. Whatever it may be. Chopping around, nothing too significant here. And instead we came for the low. Actually, didn't even tap the low, but it is what it is. That's what it is. So that's 2 wrong, 1 right. Choppy price action. Didn't take this low yet, so we have equal lows here that have been formed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step back here and now look, what are we doing here? All right, let's go on the 1 hour. What are we doing in terms of price? All right. 1 hour bearish imbalance here, tapped into, and has been respected. So I go to the 15-minute and I say, okay, from that point. So that's being respected here. all these bullish imbalances right here have been disrespected. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lows below, all while price has been delivering to the downside consistently. I want to see if we do get a confirmation to the downside. I mean, that is a pretty telling confirmation right there. I think we definitely will deliver to this point right here. And that's exactly what we get. So there's that draw tapped into. Just looking off what's being respected, disrespected here. And then we even disrespect this imbalance. Okay, take this low. Now my eyes go and say, okay, we have a sweep of liquidity right here. 15-minute, change the state. Several highs above. All right, there's where I think price will likely gravitate towards. That's it, that's all. Price is telling me that we will likely gravitate towards that point. Obviously, these aren't trades I would take. I'm just looking at observing what price is doing and forming my own bias. So again, we're still respecting that gap. I'll definitely accept being wrong here, but I do think price will gravitate towards that high. I don't think price will take this low. Look how close we are to this low. I don't think price will take it. We already swept lows here. I do not think we will take this low with no basis behind it yet. That 1 hour or 15-minute bullish bounce right here, changing the state right here, I think this is a suspect dip. And price has been delivering to the downside. This is extremely risky, but I don't think this low will be taken. I just don't see it. So I guess we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Still nothing. I do think that high will be tapped into. That's just my opinion. And there you go. That high does get tapped into. Remember, I predicted it right here. Price could have definitely taken it this low. Why did I think it wouldn't? We already swept liquidity right here, right? Price swept this low, formed this gap, changed the state of delivery. This dip at that point was a suspect dump to me. It wasn't a very significant or telling dump. There was nothing that was making it seem like it was willing to head to this low. Why? It already swept this low here. Why would price want to come to this low? We have clear highs above. The damage was done here. Changing the state, bullish gap being respected to that point, even though that was risky to that point. Price made it clear to me, at the very least, with what structure was showing, that we would head to that high instead of that low. Was that risky? Of course it's risky. Obviously, it's not a trade I would take. But just telling you where I think price will gravitate towards, and I would have been wrong had it even gone either 57 points or 342 points. And I got the 342 point move right. Just based off what structure is telling me. So I think that's 2 that are incorrect and like 4 that are correct in terms of where I think price will gravitate towards. As you can see, price has dumped pretty significantly. I'm going to do a bit more. It's chopping around now. Now we're in choppy price action, heading into that next session. I want to see what price does here now. 4 hour, not very clear, still chopping around. We have range high right here. Range low right here. Bearish imbalance on the 1 hour right here. I want to see what price does at that point. We have an internal sweep right here. Does price respect this 1 hour bearish imbalance? We disrespected it. Formed a bullish imbalance right here. We have this range high right there. I want to see what price does when it taps into it. Will it go to this high? And it's approaching it. Have not yet tapped into it. I think it will likely go. And there we go. So tapped into that high. When we disrespected that bearish imbalance right here, clearly showing a willingness to head higher, changing that state of delivery right here. This high seemed definitely attainable. Just by observing very simple concepts. Again, now I'm going to look and see what price does from this point. So we're heading into that next day. All right, 4-hour bearish imbalance. Midpoint is being respected to this point. Stated delivery on the 4-hour is not necessarily bullish to this point. The 1-hour has shown a willingness to head higher. We have equal highs here. We have several lows here, like these relative equal lows here. So where do my eyes go? My eyes go to, sorry, not there. My eyes point here. At this point, that's what I want to see. This price come down there, and if it does it respect it or disrespect it? Okay, we're heading there, not yet tapped into. I'm going to go on the 15-minute. We have those equal lows there that price can definitely gravitate towards. I guess for me now, the biggest tell is, do we disrespect this gap? If we do, then I'll look towards these highs. If we tap into it, respect the rebalance, and I get the additional confirmations, I'll look for a shot to these lows. So let me look on the 1 minute here. Internal sweep, yep. For me, I do think we could come to these lows. Now let me go on the 15-minute for 1 second. We have this here. Now this would be quite a shot to take. I'm not saying it will gravitate right away to that point. But whatever, I'll take a shot at it. Because why not? I like what I'm seeing in price. Good internal sweep, 15-minute rebalance. Scale out a bit there. And then ride the rest to these equal lows if that's what happens. There we go. Very good move to that low. I'll move it here. So profitable on that trade. With the equal lows below, I do think we can gravitate towards it. We'll see what happens though. And there you go. Very nice, very clean move. Just looking at what price will likely do. Finding these confirmations here on the 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. When the 4 hour isn't very clear, I go to the 1 hour. It wasn't very clear, I go to the 15-minute. Okay, what was the 15-minute showing me? We were heading lower, clearly. Formed these gaps, disrespected this bullish imbalance, respected this bearish imbalance. We have a bullish imbalance here, disrespected. We came, tapped into this low, but displaced past it, forming a gap. All right, my eyes look at this low. If we respect this low, internal sweep, with these equal lows below, I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot, scale out there at the low here that is in line with the CE midpoint of that fair value gap on the 1 hour. And we have clear equal lows below. So I'll take a shot at it. There's objectives to the downside. There's clear draws for price to gravitate towards. So I'll take it. All right, I think that's like 5 and 2 now. I'll probably do like 1 or 2 more. Because why not? We do have these relative equal lows here. Potential place for price to gravitate towards 345 level. Bearish gap here. That's where my eyes go now to this point. What do we do at this bearish gap? Do we respect it? Do we show a willingness to head lower? If so, 345 is my level. Now, I'm going to look as we head into the AM session the next day. What does price do? So 4 hour range took this low here. Not necessarily showing a willingness to head lower just yet. So I'll hold back on that bias to come to this low until we start seeing structure form in terms of price. We have this high right here on the 1 hour that price can gravitate towards. I'll eliminate that 4 hour gap. I'm going to look at this 1 hour one here. Wait till as we head into the AM session, what does price do? Again, nothing significant just yet. It's not showing too much. So I go to the 15-minute. Massive gap there. Again, nothing too significant. What do we have? We have lots of lows here that price can definitely gravitate towards. Like right here. But I'm not extremely going to be one-sided on this. Can we come to those lows? Sure. Do I think we will? Yeah. But there's nothing too telling here in this rangy price action for me to stick towards it. if that makes sense. And so we, using this 15-minute bearish imbalance here, respect this gap to this point. I'm going to look to see if we disrespect it. Again, this is still definitely in play. But if we disrespect this gap, then I'll potentially look to the upside. Why? Because, like I said, this wasn't very clear price action. So I didn't, if you heard me there, say, I'm not completely one-sided. It wasn't necessarily very clear to me. All right. So from this point, I think, in my personal opinion, this level here is where price will draw towards. 19,976, 20,038. Those are my levels. Where will I accept being wrong? Just below here. Here, we'll make it a 1-to-1 just for the sake of it. I do think we'll gravitate to these highs though. And we'll take half at the first draw, and then if we get the second draw, we'll be out full there. So we'll see how price reacts. Sweep of this low, see if we want to reverse from that point. There we go. Like I said, disrespected that gap. Internal sweep right here. Order block respected. Bullish imbalance breakaway gap. I would scale out here. Actually, I'll just do it. But I'm telling you right now, I think this high is definitely going to be tapped into. For me, it's definitely being tapped into. And there we go. Draw tapped into based on what I'm seeing in price. You see that expansion. You get that sweep, comes, sweeps this low, order block respected here. Breakaway gap, inverse gap right there. Shoots up, clear highs above for price to gravitate towards, and we get just that. I'll do one more. Now, obviously, these aren't trades I would take, but I would use this to gain insight on where I think price will go. And I'll find a setup using my model in this, using this as my help for direction in price. All right, what are we seeing here? So we have an internal sweep right here. Internal sweep, bearish imbalance here, inversed. So a bearish indication right there. We are in this 4-hour bearish gap, but we did disrespect this one here. I'm going to go to the 1 hour now, and I'm going to look for additional confirmations. 1 hour heading into that AM session. 1, 2, 3. Decent dump here. We do have clear lows below that price can gravitate towards. What do we do from this point? Here we are. We have a sweep here. Price comes. Let me look at this wick right here. 143. All right, it around the midpoint of that wick, price rejects from that point. Breakaway gap. This gap not yet tapped into. Inverse this bullish gap here. Clear lows below. Price can definitely gravitate to these lows here. 19,660, 19,706. What is my... For me, it all rides on this imbalance being respected. If we do, I'll look at these lows. If it gets disrespected, perhaps I'll change what I'm looking for. And that's exactly what we get. So we're disrespecting those gaps. So I'll change what I'm looking for. We get a sweep here. So there's your sweep. On the 50-minute now, I'm going to look to see if we get those confirmations here. Does price show a willingness to head higher, or do we finally get those confirmations to the downside? And we could look at these lows potentially. Yeah, so now for me, where do I think price will gravitate towards? Low right here. Here we are. Make it like a 1-to-1, whatever it is, what it is. But I'd look towards that low. Only opposing thing is this bullish gap here. Like I said, we have a bearish gap here, a bullish gap here. One has to give. I'll accept being wrong here if I am. Again, very bad price action delivery here, but there are objectives to the downside I think can get tapped. And there we go. Like I said, look at all these lows here that I thought price would head towards. You get that confirmation off that sweep of buy side right here. Sweep of those equal highs. Inverse this gap here. Displacement past it. Low 1, low 2, low 3, low 4. All these lows here. Yeah. Price could definitely gravitate towards 706 and 660. All right. I say every time it's my last one, but I'll do one more because I don't mind doing this. Heading into the next day. Oh, this is a new week. So we'll end it with the first week. Our first day of this week. All right, 4-hour bearish imbalance. External sweep right here. 1 hour, what do we have? We have the new week gap here. 1 hour bullish imbalance is formed here. I'm going to look to see what price does from this point. Do we disrespect these gaps? Okay, these served as breakaway gaps up to this point. Up until this point, those gaps have not even been regarded. I don't like what I'm seeing in terms of price here. Nothing clear to me. Disrespected this gap. Yeah. This high not yet tapped. Price will likely make a sweep of this high here. 347. In line with this new week gap as well. We'll likely head there. 347 tapped. Likely will fill this gap as well. There you go. Gap filled here with this wick. So nice intraday price action analysis there off the 1 hour, but no clear draw for me there. Nothing worth taking risk over. So I'll do another day just because we didn't get anything clear in price. And not every day will be something clear in price. So some days there won't be anything necessarily very clear in price, and that just means you have nothing to take, right? So it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. Sweep right here. Rangy price action. Swept that low. Where's my draw? Equal highs right here. Again, this is just a simple one-to-one. I think we'll just come to these equal highs right here. That's another intraday little scalping draw here. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. I really don't care. It's a very short scalp. We were right. The draw's right there. Why? Huge pump. State of delivery is bullish. Rangy price action. Range low tapped. Equal highs above. Yeah. Draw there is definitely likely. Again, that's just a little scalp pre-AM session that, like I said, you can scalp those if you want. I can definitely get scalps if I wanted to, but I prefer, at least at this point right now, finding those cleaner moves to the upside. Sweep right here, this high. 1 hour bullish imbalance is here. Into that AM session, dug into this 1 hour bullish gap. Then we go on the 15-minute bullish gap, not tapped into. Again, not liking how price is delivering. This would be a day I'd likely stay away. Could we head to the upside? Sure, but I don't love it. So yeah, we did head to the upside, but I didn't love what I was seeing in price. And if you don't love it, yeah, you probably shouldn't take anything. That's just the reality of it. So we'll head into the next day. I'm gonna wait for price to show me something nice that I'll take I'll make a prediction on, and then we'll call it there. All right, sweep of this 4 hour high. On the 1 hour, we inverse this gap right here. I'm going to see if we form this breaker here. If we do, heading into AM session, I would likely look towards these lows. Nothing just yet. We don't get that sweep. For me, what am I looking at? This 1 hour bearish gap. On the 15-minute, clear rangy price action. Nothing too nice here. 15-minute bearish gap here is being respected as well. if we do respect it, I would look to the downside, which is definitely what you get here. So like I said, several lows below, so price can draw towards there, and that's what we get to that point. Could even fill this gap here. So there we go, fill to the midpoint. All right, from this point now, again, 4-hour bearish imbalance off that range bound price action. Here, I'm gonna make a prediction likely here. Again, just chopping around. All right, why is this a dangerous point in price? Actually, this is good. Why is this dangerous? We have several lows below, several highs above. So when this is the case, you can try and make a shot for it based on what you're seeing, but you're better off waiting for one side to be taken. Why? Because at face value right now, what I'm seeing, where do I think price will gravitate towards? Probably these lows, but I would much rather wait for one side to get tapped before I make a prediction. We could definitely take those highs. But yeah, okay, so that initial prediction is correct. What I will look for to see if price does want to tap into this low next first. There we go. So that low did get tapped. If we do get the confirmations from this point, I would look for price to return to these highs here. 20,105, 20,147, only if we get the confirmations. And if you look here, very nice signature in price here. For me, the confirmation would come on the 1 minute at the inversion of this gap right here. Look for a long at this point. Obviously, the R to R wouldn't be great on this specific trade, which is fine. Whatever it is, what it is. But my eyes now would go towards these highs here and these highs right here. That's where my eyes gravitate towards. So draw one, I'd scale out half. There we go. And then I would accept being wrong on the rest if we come back for this candle, but I'd look towards those equal highs right there. That's the draw that I think price will gravitate towards, and that's what we get. Range bound price action, several lows below, several highs above. Range low taken, so accumulation, manipulation, distribution to the equal highs. There's the PO3 that you look for. Why did I say it's better to wait? Because you want to see when you have several lows and several highs above. Opposing factors like that, very clear. You want to wait for one side to be taken and then look if you get the confirmations for the other side. That's exactly what we got. Accumulation, manipulated these lows here, all these lows with clear highs above, distributed all the way to those equal highs. Very nice, very simple. Finding the likely draw on liquidity, just based off what you're seeing. Using very simple concepts. I want it to be I'm making it as easy as possible for you guys to understand. And that is basically what I look for when I'm looking for the draws on price. I said I'd keep it brief. It is a bit over half an hour, this video. Sometimes I can go off on a bit of a tangent. But yeah, I tried to make it very simple. I didn't want to get into too much detail. I tried to keep the rhythm of this video quick. So we're just loading it up with more and more value, more information, and that is that. So I'll do more of these. I'll break them down even further in additional videos with more detail and take it much slower and get into all the technicals of price. But right now I want to keep it very simple for you guys to understand. Just so you could use very simple technicals and get a good grip of the market. So I hope that you gain some insight out of this. Nice PO3 here. I wish you good luck, good trading, and take care, everybody.